Hi guys, I'm with Tasha. I'm not going to say from Love Island, but when I saw her today, I almost had a breakdown. So just want to say thank you very much for coming on for Get Real with Rio.
Thank you for having
Um,
me.
when I saw your name pop up from one of the researchers that was coming, I was thinking how many questions can I ask you about Love Island? But more interestingly, I think I would love to start on finding a little bit more about your superpower.
Yeah.
Can you just explain what your superpower is, please?
So I was born completely deaf. My parents found out when I was 12 months old, and I got a cochlear implant when I was 5. And basically, I was born into a hearing family, and I see it as my superpower now. I used to, back in the day, it was a very long journey to get to where I am now. Being confident and open about it. But yeah, I like to call it my superpower. It makes me feel empowered.
Uh, you just mentioned a really big point, I think, is confidence. I think everyone suffers with a lack of confidence at a certain time in their life.
Yeah.
With this as well, as something added to just other things that will be going on in your life, how did you kind of build that confidence? Was it like an immediate thing or was it over a long period of time?
A long period of time. I think it was
How long? How
hard.
long?
Throughout high school, so I don't know
Okay.
how old, like 14, 15, 16. I think that's like the most prominent time in my life because you're trying to figure out who you are as a person, you're going through hormones, you're going through trying to figure out what you want to do in your future, who you are as a person. And I was the only deaf person in my school.
Okay.
So I always compared myself in such a negative way. I would never talk about it, always would hide it. It was actually the dance industry that made me more open because I was a trained dancer, and that's kind of like the safe space for me to kind of really be me and not be judged. I can be free, and that's where my confidence really started to grow from there. And that's like probably I was like 19, 20,
Wow.
and something clicked. I think something just clicked to me and was like, you know what, this is your. Don't see it as a negative thing. It's who you are. I mean, it doesn't define me, but I've got something special and unique. But yeah, my mental health, my teenage years were horrific, pretty much, really horrific, and to the point where I would blame my parents for making me deaf. I would
Wow.
literally, it was hot, yeah,
Well, you'd actually physically go to them. You're the reason why I've got a problem.
yeah,
Wow.
I
That must have
did,
been hard for them, no?
yeah. And do you know what though? They were patient with me and they stood by my side. And it was interesting. We actually had a conversation. They were on my podcast like 2 weeks ago, and I had them
You got a
on.
podcast.
Yeah,
How
so
come I've not been invited? What's going on
well, I was going to invite you after, so if you're down for it, let's do it. And they actually kind of said to me, they used to literally cry themselves to sleep because they felt guilty.
Oh wow.
And I think it was that moment we actually spoke about it and we were honest, and they were just so patient with me. They understood what I was going through. But obviously, I don't blame them now. I actually thank them because I see it as a gift. I'm so thankful that I've had this, deafness to do what I'm doing now.
So before you found dance and you were going through them kind of turbulent years, like take us back to some of them moments and what were the big tricky points and barriers for you when you was a young girl,
Um,
if you don't mind.
yeah, no, it's fine. I actually never really spoke so deep about it. I think I come home from school, I'd just literally go to my bedroom and just cry and cry.
Wow.
I'd lock myself in the bathroom. I just wouldn't, I'd just be so down. And my parents would like try and come in the bathroom. I'd be like, no, like leave me alone. And I was so introvert as well. I had friends, I was quite lucky. I wasn't like bullied in really harsh way. I was cyberbullied and stuff, but not like face to face. I just think I just used to really beat myself down so much, and it really just affected me massively. And I look back and I wish I didn't do that because I
Was it
wasted.
was it more that you was doing that from an internal perspective and it wasn't so much other people putting it on you, it was just the way you thought people thought a certain thing about you?
It was more of an internal thing. I
Yeah.
think I was doing it to myself more like people couldn't really understand what I was going through as well. So I also had depression. Every time I tried to explain what's going on in my head, no one would understand. 'Cause I was born into a hearing family, so no one could actually understand what it was like to be in my position, like any of my
Wow.
friends. And it was kind of a bit of everything. It was like internal, external. It was school pressures, exams. I did okay in my exams, but, I didn't have that support in school as well. There's a lot that was going on. I just used to blame it on myself all the time.
Do you think that maybe if you'd have gone somewhere where there was more people in a similar situation to you, it may have helped you massively?
Well, that was actually considerations. My parents think about sending me to a deaf school, but they kind of thought to put me into public school, because in that way my speech would get better. I was, communicating with people with that hearing. So in a way, it was more beneficial for me to go to public school. But at the same time, maybe going to deaf school might have been better for my mental health. But I think I'm kind of glad I went to a public school, because it's got me to where I am now, doing what I'm doing. So I think it's a hard one. It's like 50-50.
You'll never know really now, will you?
Yeah, I'll never know.
You're in a good place now anyway. But you mentioned cyberbullying. And
Yeah.
I think obviously We Are 8 is a huge platform in terms of doesn't tolerate any cyberbullying, doesn't tolerate any toxic behaviour or hate. Could you have benefited from having a platform like that at the time when because obviously you'd have been on social media,
Yeah.
and it is a place where it's a playground for people that want to bully people.
Oh yeah, I get it now.
How did you deal with that then? How did you deal with that then? And then your confidence is a very different
Yeah.
place now, as opposed to how you deal with it now. What's the differences?
I think back in school it was kind of, I saw it was like teenager bullying, like it was just that kind of like mean girl vibes. And I think back then I was quite lucky, because my dad and my mum were very strong for me, and they said, look, it's not going to be forever. Like, it's school, like, you'll get through it, you'll come out, and you do bigger, better things, which I did. And I came out, I left my hometown. I thought, you know what, I'm going to move to London, did the big move, and work on my career and work on myself.
It's so brave, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. And then compared to now, I think it's very, very different, because I'm an adult now, and I think I suffered more ableism. So I never actually dealt with ableism before. So coming out of Love Island, that was like the biggest thing for me.
When you talk about your things, I think it's so important for people to hear, and because confidence is such a big thing that people lack.
Yeah.
And for you to have the confidence to move to London for one, to go on a big show like that, and to come out the back of it,
Yeah.
and the position you are, like you need to be like put up there in
Yeah.
the spotlight, because what you've done has been amazing.
Thank
Because it's difficult.
you. Yeah, I don't know why I'm crying, honestly. I said to myself, I'm not going to cry in this episode, and here I am.
But I think that is true. It's passion. You've got passion about what you do, and you're somebody who's a beacon of light for other people now.
Yeah.
So it's important what you're doing, man.
Yeah, I think it was hard, because like my parents also had to deal with that. They were doing my social media, and my friends as well, and they were very like, it was first time for them as well, and they were trying to educate people. You know, sometimes in the filler it's so intense, and I really had to go through it all. So I think for mum and dad, they really had to educate and say, look, the reason why she's so sensitive is because I'm emotionally trained and mentally as well. So yeah.
But I mean, like you were saying, it must have been. I mean, obviously that's triggered you. How painful it must have been. Hard must have been for your parents while you was in there.
Yeah.
Was there any help for your parents on social media? Because obviously there's been a lot of toxic behaviour on there. Was there any help from the production team or anyone like that?
Being honest, no.
Wow.
Like, I want to be completely transparent. My dad actually made like a post to share on social media, kind of saying we don't tolerate bullying, online trolls, that kind of thing. And they actually set a time and like a day and night to post it, and all the other Islanders did it as well, like on their social medias. And obviously my dad mentioned to ITV and said, oh look, like we're all going to do this thing together, stand our ground and fight against, you know, bullies and trolling. And they posted it in their story, but obviously your story only lasts 24 hours, and that was pretty much it.
Wow. 'Cause you need the support in those situations, and a bit of guidance and to
Yeah.
help as well.
But I think that's why you've done that social media ban thing now, but you're still getting the hate on your Instagram comments and stuff, so it's not really fully stopped it. But yeah, my mum and dad didn't have that support out there that much. It was more from like the people that were, you know, supporting me. They had more support from like the fans than the actual.
So when you came out, did you get any personal support in terms of your mental health, in terms of how to deal with social media, anticipating the hate that you might receive?
Yeah, so we did get aftercare.
Okay, great.
So I get offered like a therapy sessions. They were all, to be fair, the welfare team was still in touch with me even to this day now,
Oh, good.
to see how I am. So the aftercare is really, really good. Like, hands up, like that's good. Because I feel like when you come out, it's a lot to deal with. So yeah, they really have given me that kind of space to be like, look, if you need any help, there's this for you, like an aftercare package.
So let's go back and just lighten the mood a little bit. And when you went into the villa with Love Island, What was your reasons for going in there? What was the decision process?
So actually, genuinely, two reasons: representation and actually find someone. Because
Oh, wow.
my dating life before was just absolute shambles, and I couldn't find someone that really accepted me for me.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, you know what, this is an opportunity where you kind of throw into a villa, intense environment, you really get to know each other with no phones. And I really like that idea of actually, I might be able to really connect with someone here, which I did. I met Andrew. So yeah, and also for
Shout out, Andrew.
representation. For representation as well, like, you don't see people with disabilities on TV that often. So I thought, you know what, I want to show people you can find love, you can be confident, but no matter what disability you have. And that was like one of my biggest main reasons why.
So how was it then? So you obviously found love in there.
Yeah,
How long have you been together now? How long is that?
it'll be a year in July.
Wow. Feels like longer,
I know.
doesn't it?
It feels like yesterday. Well, for me, I'm literally like, oh my God, like, it's crazy how quick it's gone.
Wow. So when you went in there, in terms of like being accepted in there, was that there was no problems with that? You was fine, and you just kind of just bounced in there and just went along with it.
Yeah, so I remember the first night, I kind of said to the producers, like, I'm going to tell everyone all at the same time, because if I did it one by one, it's just a lot of hassle. So I just kind of got everyone around a fire pit and said, look, I was born completely deaf, I wear a cochlear implant, you know, it's my superpower, it's who I am. And everyone was so receptive and supportive about it. No one was like judgmental. And ever since then, it kind of just, like, it was funny because I actually had a lot of individual conversations about it, but they never got aired.
It's weird, that, isn't it? That's
And
what I
like,
mean.
yeah, and I wish it did because it was so educational. Like,
Powerful.
sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm really tired, I've napped for 2 hours, and I'll say to the girls, it's because I lip read a lot and
It's tiring.
be training. Like, those little things never got shown. I feel like if they did, a lot of things would be more understood about me, but because they didn't, people
Weird, that, isn't it?
couldn't grasp why.
Why wouldn't they show that? It's weird.
Yeah,
Because it is important, isn't it?
yeah,
It's really important.
it is, yeah.
So you mentioned your dating life prior to going into the show. What were the problems you had?
I think it was just, I didn't really have like, I had the confidence to date, but sometimes when I mention about my cochlear implant, I feel like it scared them sometimes a little bit. Like, you know, you have that like feeling,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's like maybe the day after they'd never message again and things like that, and I'd be like, oh, okay, so, but I just think maybe some people don't know how to deal with it or how to go around it. So I get why maybe some people don't understand that situation. So I was, in my head, I was like, that's fine, like, that's, you know, it was like their loss kind of thing at the time. So that's why with Andrew, like, he's just so completely 100% acceptive of me. Like, he's just genuinely, like, little things that I've been looking for, he is. And like, he really is just great. He's really great.
Wow, I wish my wife talks like that about me, boy. I wonder if she does in these interviews that she does.
I'm sure
Shit.
she does.
So you know, like you with Andrew, you guys are cool. You're flying now, enjoying it. Are you living together now
Yeah.
in London?
Yeah, in London. We're
Wow.
having a dog.
Are you? What dog are you
Yeah,
getting?
she's coming next week. She's a rescue from Spain.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What type of dog is it?
Rodenko.
What's that?
Like, I think it's like a Spanish breed. It's Rodenko is like hunting dogs, but she's a mixed breed, another dog. We don't know who the dad breed is. So yeah, she's a rescue from Spain. 4 months old.
Oh wow.
I know.
That's like having a kid. That's almost like having a kid.
I
Seriously.
know.
It's mad. We got a couple of dogs as well, and it's like, my missus is like, oh, should we get another one? I'm like, hold on, we got almost 5 kids, 2 dogs. We don't need this. It's like a full team. So, but
it.
no, it's good. You know what? Back to, you match, don't you? You match your clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, to my cochlear implant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do sometimes. Yeah.
Have you gone today? Have you got?
I
What
got
have you gone for?
a baby
yeah,
blue.
Yeah. So have you got loads of different colours of it?
Yeah.
As
So I got like pink, red, all like loads of different colours. But actually, the other day I got a Rondo 3 fitted, so it's actually a different cochlear implant, and it's literally just a magnet. So you can see the coil here. It's just a magnet,
well? Oh wow.
and it's a better cochlear implant basically. So they came to my flat and they fitted it in, and it's so different. Everything sounded so much more clearer, more crisp. I can connect it to my phone to,
Oh, wow.
and like it'll play through. It's like wearing headphones.
So what? If you're going to play music, you can play it through there.
Yeah.
Don't lie.
Yeah, I swear. And I was literally sat there like, oh my God, like I don't even have to wear headphones. But I'm still getting used to it, so I'm swapping it over from my old one to the
Okay.
new one every now and then, just get used to it a bit more. But yeah, it's crazy.
Are they expensive?
And I get mine through NHS.
Oh dear, oh, that's
Yeah.
cool then. Does it take as long as everything else on NHS takes or not?
No, so mine's actually really good. I'm with a audiologist. So if I need like batteries, they send it to me. If I need to go for a checkup, I
Oh
should go
wow.
for a checkup. But I think initially, if you go private, I think it's around 30k.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the
It is
operation
expensive.
and the implant. Yeah, around
Oh, okay.
30,000. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
great.
expensive.
So what else? Tell me what else you're into. I can tell you're into fashion.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I read something up about you about sustainable fashion.
yeah.
Can you just elaborate a little bit for
So
us?
I'm an eBay ambassador.
Okay.
So eBay was the first sponsor for Love Island last year, and it was kind of a big groundbreaking moment of sustainability, not fast fashion. I loved shopping vintage hand, second hand before. I really enjoyed it. And then in the villa, the things that they were giving us was literally like vintage, like designer clothes as well. And I was like, this is awesome. So coming out, it just felt right to work with eBay, and I became an eBay ambassador. And I'm still with them to this day, and it's been great.
So have you got your own range or anything like that coming out?
Had a
or-
few edits,
Okay,
yeah.
wicked.
Yeah, the recent one is festival. We were looking for festival wear.
Yeah.
Go check it
Yeah,
out.
you're the girl for that, yeah? I've told my missus, she's pregnant at the moment, but after she's had the baby, we'll be able to do that. Have you got any good like tips for like second-hand shopping? Because it is like quite a niche.
It is, yeah. Do you know what? It's about making little swaps at first. It's not about like, chucking it all out and restarting fresh. It's just making those little swaps, like, and also don't throw your clothes away because it just goes to landfill. Like, donate it, give it to charity.
That's what I do. I do
Give
that.
it to your friends.
I'm good at that.
There you go. That's good. Or like even just give it to your friends or family. They can pass it on. So I think a lot of people just tend to throw clothes out, whereas there's so many people out there that need clothes, and yeah, I think just little swaps, and it's also be patient. I feel like people go shopping vintage and second hand. They walk in the shop, they look around and walk out. You have to really go looking for it.
You've got to rummage.
Yeah, you have to
Innit?
rummage through it all and be patient, and you will find unique finds. That's what I like. I feel like it's more of a story.
Yeah, I used to buy quite a lot of second-hand stuff
Yeah.
when I was in Leeds
Oh
and when
yeah.
I first got to Manchester. And that's one thing I always used to think, you can't just walk in and like a normal shop, you'd walk in and walk out, you just sit, nah.
Yeah,
You've got to
you
dig
have
deep. There's
to.
stuff at the bottom of a box or something like that that you have
Yeah.
to find.
Yeah.
And you've got to be willing to get through. Sometimes there's some funky smells about.
Yeah.
You've got to get through it. You've got air stuff when you
do.
take it home.
Yeah.
but it's,
you do exactly.
It is mad. And my boy said to me, how can you wear second-hand stuff, Dad? And I was like, no, it's some cool stuff in there you get,
Yeah.
innit? Like leather jackets and stuff like that. I used to love
Yeah.
leather jackets.
That bomber jacket as well,
Yeah.
my fave. And I feel like there's such a stigma around that second hand is embarrassing, but I feel like it's becoming the trend now, especially for like the Gen Z generation. It's very like on trend, and that's what I'm doing. It's breaking down that stigma. Actually, it's better to shop second hand for sustainability. So
I just want to take you to some more like generic stuff, yeah? Like what has been the happiest moment in your life so far?
the happiest moment. Oh my gosh, there's been so many happy moments. I feel like.
Andrew.
Yeah. Yeah, meeting Andrew, and I think my career as well, the things that I'm doing now, like what makes me happy is talking about raising awareness for the deaf community. Like, that makes me really happy as
Is
well.
that your real purpose in life, your main purpose? It seems like it.
Yeah, 100%. Like even before the show, I had the smallest following. I still was trying to raise as much awareness as I could. So that's why I like doing my own podcast and like things like that. Little things is I want to help people out there. That makes me happy. You know, I get messages saying because of you, I wore my hair up today and showed my hearing aid and my cochlear implant, and that's what I want to do is make a difference in people's lives to have that confidence.
I didn't even think about that. Is that something that is quite like common with somebody who has
Yeah.
an ear? Sorry, I'm so terrible.
That's
What's
fine.
it called? Sorry,
I call it cochlear implant.
cochlear implant. So people wouldn't wear their hair up in fear of it being shown.
Yeah, that was me in
didn't
high
think-
school.
Was it?
Yeah, I always wore my hair down.
I didn't even consider that. Wow.
I was just so scared of like showing it, and I think in school as well, disability is not really taught that. I feel like there should be more awareness around disabilities, and I think that's why we're so much more vulnerable to bullying because we're seen as different. And I feel like in school they really need to teach students that make us feel more included, that diversity is not a bad thing. Just because we're different, we shouldn't be treated different. And I think if that was to happen in school, we'll have more confidence to be able to be who we want to be and embrace our superpowers.
That's so important as well.
Yeah.
To build confidence with people. What's the best bit of advice you've ever been given?
No one else is you, and that's your biggest power.
No one else is you.
And that's your
I like
biggest
that.
power.
That was quick, man.
I know.
That's in there. That's
It's
inbuilt, isn't
It's
it?
my top quote. It's in there every day.
That is inbuilt. Every morning it's there, bang on the phone. If you could change one thing in your world today, what would it be?
Change one thing.
Mm.
Lead with love. Like lead with more love. Be
Love.
more kind. Like
Yeah.
so the thing I would change is I'm guessing like don't be hateful. Like
Mm.
that's what I'd love to change. Like have no trolls or bullies in this world. I feel like the world would be a much more happier place.
That's why We Are Rate is so important, seriously. Because I met the guys at We Are Rate about 18 months ago, right? And I've just become so obsessed with it. So I've got young kids who are on social media now, and I
Yeah.
just sit there and think, so if they have to go through what the likes of yourself, myself, and other people have to go through with
Yeah.
toxic behaviour and discrimination and
Yeah.
confidence beating online, I won't be able to sleep properly,
Yeah.
especially if I know that there's an alternative.
Yeah.
And so it's so important. That's why I'm so behind this. It's crazy. And people
Yeah.
don't sometimes appreciate the impact it has on people.
Yeah. They don't.
mean,
yeah.
And not just you, like you said, you got upset talking about your parents having to
Yeah.
deal with this stuff. It's the other people as well.
It impacts everybody else. And
Mm.
I think, especially being in the public eye like us, I feel like people think we're robots and we don't have emotions, we don't have a heart. It's like we
Machines.
do. We can have emotions. I feel like we're kind of taught or expected to kind of ignore it and just be like, oh, we have to deal with it. Like it's our life. We have
Oh,
to
you're
deal
getting
with
paid
it.
anyway. You've got to deal with it. That's what
So
people say,
that's
isn't it?
literally what people
Yeah.
are saying. It's like that's not the case though. We still have emotions and feelings, and things are going to hurt us still.
Common one is you get is, oh, I'd take all that hate all day. If I was getting paid what she was getting paid, I'd take that all. No, you wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't.
Jump in these shoes. I'm not saying it's all bad. Don't get me wrong. There's some great times in our shoes, but you shouldn't have to tolerate and accept all of that behaviour.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can see and feel right now sitting next to you. I connect you to your family. How do you find that balance? Because I have this quick conversation with my kids and my missus all the time. Dad, you at work too much, or how do you find that balance between work and family and friends?
I'm quite good at putting my foot down if it's not right for me. So like, I had great brands come to me and say, we love to work with you, but I kind of, know what I want to do and what's right for me and what makes me happy. So things I'm doing now is what makes me happy, no matter how much. I don't care about the money. Like if they're paying me £10, but it makes me really, really happy, I'm happy to do it. And I think for me as well, on the weekend, I try to make sure I get all my work done during the week so I can have my weekend, spend time with Andrew, my family, friends, and it's just knowing what makes you happy. I think that's the best way to find that balance. And if you take on too much, obviously you are going to tire yourself out, you are going to train yourself out. So I'm very good at learning how to find that balance of doing what you love and what you're passionate about, and that way you are going to lead with happiness.
Shit, I like that. That was deep. So for you, what is a perfect night out or a perfect night in might be?
I'll stay in.
Would you?
I'm a safer person. I literally never go out. You'll never see me in a club or anything. I like to go for food. I love food. I'm obsessed with food. So like maybe go out for dinner, but I like to stay in. Candles, TV, meal prep. Good to go.
Meal prep.
Yeah.
I love it.
Saves
good.
time from cooking. I get
Yeah,
home, just chuck it in the microwave, meal prep.
Oh, good. Well, listen, it's been lovely talking to you. Thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you for having me.
Really good. Inspired, man. I'm inspired. So thank you. Let's get real with Rio. Tasha, thank you very much.
Thank you.